So Clark is going to be talking to us about his experience with Animal Jam, which is one of the most popular virtual worlds out there right now for kids.
All right, thanks. Thanks everybody for coming after lunch. And if you're going to email your friends, tell them to hurry because all the good stuff's right up front here. I was kind of a late addition. I thought it might be interesting to talk about a particular experience that we had with a particular virtual good sold in our online store. My name, by way of introduction, is Clark STACEY. I run Smart Bomb Interactive. We own and operate National Geographic Animal Jam. National Geographic is a partner. We are a licensee of theirs, and we benefit from their multimedia libraries and extensive knowledge of both kids and animals. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Animal Jam, the core fantasy of this game is that kids become their favorite animal. We have 24, 25 different animal avatars that kids can become in Animal Jam now. We add new ones all the time. We just added a kangaroo last month. And this is, I'm going to show a little 30-second commercial that we're running right now, in case you're not familiar with the art style on that.
Welcome to Jama, a place of peace, where play is celebrated, until a wicked spell was cast, and countless animals became trapped by an ancient menace that emerged from the shadows. Animal Jam needs your help. We will prepare you.
You must be brave.
You must be clever.
You must be wild.
Help us save our world. Become your favorite animals today in Animal Jam and play wild.
All right, so currently Animal Jam has just under 13 million users. We are adding a new player about every 3 seconds. One of the features of Animal Jam that kids and parents both really like, obviously, is the wealth of animal facts, photos, and videos that we offer through our association with National Geographic. We spend a lot of time and effort making this a safe place for kids to play, and also a place that has some genuine, substantive educational value. This is it's a very social world. There, with parental approval, kids have some very constrained chat system that they can use that's moderated. And a lot of our kind of high-touch operation of this is just in day-to-day and moment-to-moment player safety. So let me first describe the basic business model that we pursued. When we launched this at the end of 2010, we did so with the sort of plain vanilla subscription model that Club Penguin and its successors have used successfully. We offered a lot of free content. Free players can do almost everything that paying members can do. They can play all the games, access all the educational content, participate in the core social features. If they do choose to become members, they get access to more animals, avatars, pets, customization options, special virtual goods that give them more personalization in the world. We found that kids who subscribe on average remain members for a little over 7 months. The average lifetime value of a subscriber for us then, as you see up there, $57.05 as of last month. This is about $15 higher than 7 months worth of membership would be. Our base membership options, you can see, range from $5.95 for a month, with some price breaks at 6 and 12 months. The reason that that's a little higher than what the base membership cost would be is that we have some members that have stayed much longer than 7 months, obviously, some of whom have been with us for the whole 2 years that we've been operating it. And we've also created some other monetization avenues that our most devoted players have embraced. So what the revenue streams look like for us overall, and here's where you should tell your friends to run in here because nobody else shares this stuff. As you can see in the top graph there, different varieties of membership account for about 93% of our monthly revenue currently. And of the different subscription types that we have, so that's everything up there except for the AJO stuff, which I'll talk about in a moment. Of the different subscription types, it's obvious that our bread and butter is the 1-month recurring subscription, which we sell for $5.95, about 45% of our monthly revenue. Despite significant savings that we offer with the 6 and 12 month, most parents still opt for a 1-month commitment, which is not surprising because 6 months is a geological epoch in the life of an 8-year-old, and a lot of parents don't want to commit to something that they might abandon after a couple of weeks. We think it's a good sign that players are not only very deeply engaged in the world. Our average play session is over 80 minutes during the summer, but they are also sticking around for a long time, over 7 months. So our retail gift cards, which you see 2 of them pictured down there below, these have become an increasingly important revenue stream for us, especially since we launched them with Target and Walmart this past holiday season. They've really taken off with about a little over 7,000 points of retail distribution last holiday season. We'll have over 30,000 this holiday season. The AJO entries on the graph there refer to Animal Jam Outfitters, which is our online store. And it's an experiment that we ran in this online store that I thought might be interesting to talk to you guys about today. So Animal Jam Outfitters has a few different offerings. Mostly it sells gift certificates for memberships that actually duplicate the offerings of the retail gift cards. The reason for that, these are only offered outside of the United States. So if you're visiting by GeoIP from outside the United States, you'll see these. If you're within the United States, you will not. The reason for that is that until very recently, we offered some exclusive animal avatars through these retail cards. And some of the exclusive animal avatars were exclusive to particular retailers that are only in the US, Target and Walmart, US and Canada. So we needed a way for kids in other countries who were seeing, the Arctic wolf and cool animals running around in Animal Jam and wanted that animal. How could they get it? We gave them the subscription option in Animal Jam Outfitters to get it there. And the gem packs that you see up there are just boosters for our in-game currency that kids can earn for free anyway. The physical goods are a few shirts and toys that we sell. All those things, everything up there, is still available on Animal Jam Outfitters, except for the Hummingbirds, which accounted for 12% of those sales, I think, 2 months ago. The Hummingbirds were the experiment. What those were, see, only members can have pets in Animal Jam, in the world of Jama. That is, their virtual animals can have virtual animals of their own. We know from studying our players that pets are one of the most galvanizing contributors to conversion. So they're something that kids get really excited about, and we believe that they are one of the main things that kids actually go from being free players to paying members because of. We infer this by looking at which member-only items players go and get as soon as they convert. So as soon as they go from being a free player to a paid member, what do they go get first? What is it that they've had their eye on that's really been driving the desire? And so we look at those things and we say those were probably, if not the primary driver, at least one of the primary drivers as to why it got them off the fence, tipped the scales for them to convert. And you can see from the top there, that you can read that back there, but 4 of the top 10 monthly converters by that metric are pets. So this is in 1 month, the puppy, kitten, snake, really? The snake? And the seahorse were pets that kids got, and that was the first thing that they went and got as soon as they became members. And that's how many gems they spent on them in a month. And we also know that whenever we release a new pet, we see a very dramatic spike in new memberships because kids are excited about it. Because of that, last summer we decided to try releasing an exclusive pet as a premium item. This would be something that players would have to purchase, even members would have to purchase directly in Animal Jam Outfitters through the online shop. We had a pretty lively debate about this internally because pets have always been one of the benefits that you got from your Animal Jam subscription. To then create a second premium class of that members would have to buy of pets, in getting additional money from those members felt like we were double dipping, kind of. And while that most game developers would think, well, yeah, duh, that's what you're supposed to be doing. We feel like we kind of have an implicit deal with parents when we're working under the subscription model. If you buy the Animal Jam, the deal is if you buy the Animal Jam membership for your child, they will stop bugging you. They will have access to everything in the game that members get, and we're not going to keep sending them after you for money. You will have unlocked all of this content for them. And if you judge that it's of continuing value month to month, you'll continue to subscribe. So while we did have exclusive animal avatars associated with the retail cards are also discounted 3-month memberships. So they're just really another way of buying a subscription that come with something extra, the additional avatar. We're not asking you to pay on top of the membership to go and get something that you wouldn't otherwise get. We're asking you to buy a discounted membership, and with it, by the way, you get a snow leopard that you couldn't get otherwise. So what we did, we decided to make this a 1-month membership offering. So we put together kind of the Hummingbird Pack, right? We had the Hummingbird Virtual Pet. These are some of the kids can customize their pets and dress them up and things in the world. These are some of the hummingbirds that we saw on fan blogs and them. We put it together with a den, another very exciting item for kids to see released in the world, our new dens that they can inhabit and decorate and invite their friends into. We put all this together and charged $8.99 and called it a 1-month membership Hummingbird Pet Pack. So we're charging $3 more than we would for an ordinary 1-month membership, and you're getting this cool exclusive stuff that you wouldn't get otherwise. And we figured that way that if parents of existing members are getting hit up to buy the Hummingbird certificate, at least it includes an extension of their child's membership that they'd be paying $5.95 for anyway. We still had some disquiet about charging extra for something that parents could be forgiven for thinking was part of the subscription offering, or should be, but this was also just to be an experiment, and we were monitoring both player and parent sentiment pretty carefully throughout it. So sales were not spectacular of the Hummingbird certificate, but they were strong. I think it's a little about 1,700 in the first month. As with all new content that goes into Animal Jam, after a surge of popularity, the Hummingbirds were eclipsed by other newer stuff going into the game. But the sales chart seemed to tell us that the experiment was paying off. We were monetizing this new content better than if we just released it as another pet in the world, because we were getting this extra $3 plus people who would ordinarily buy a 1-month membership were now buying an $8.99 1-month membership. The second graph was a little troubling, however, especially in the first month, because we had hoped that this membership would convert a lot of new members. But we saw that the majority of the players buying the Hummingbird certificate, particularly in the first month, were existing members, which meant that we were double dipping with parents. Now that did taper off over time and did improve as the Hummingbird became less of the hot thing in Animal Jam. Now, from a purely monetary perspective, of course, this seems like a good thing, right? We were getting $3 extra a month from those members. But we had concerns that we were straining our value proposition, and actually, in the long run, it turned out to be a net loss for us, interestingly, and here's why. So the lifetime value of our members is more important to us than short-term gain, which should be self-evident. And for what we observed over time is that despite that initial $3 boost that we got from these existing members, the LTV of players who converted through buying the Hummingbird certificate was 24% less than the average, 24% less than those who would buy the $5.95 membership. The reason was that the drop-off was much higher than average. So the players who were subscribing just to get the Hummingbird because of its momentary popularity were less likely to renew from month to month. So with many of them, we got that $8.99 and nothing more. We also observed over time that the Hummingbird sales were cannibalizing sales of the $5.95 regular membership, 1-month membership, which does renew at a very high rate. So much less likely to renew, despite the $3 initial surge. We saw that over time, this was actually a pretty significant net loss. So not self-evident to us in the beginning, but we did draw a couple of lessons from it that I think are going to be valuable for us going forward. And this is fairly recent for us too. We just discontinued the Hummingbird last month after running it for I think like 8-9 months or something. And towards the end, sales of it had tapered off very dramatically. The most important one from a monetary standpoint is that if we're going to create incentivizing content, we should be incentivizing the higher LTV SKUs, right? We should not be creating a short-term special type of membership that costs a little bit more and trying to incentivize players around purchasing that. Instead, we should be looking at what is the stuff that we have the best LTV on now and what can we do to sweeten the pot to encourage players towards that. This seemed counterintuitive to us at the time. It seems obvious now, but as we're creating exclusive content, the way that we now think about this is what can we do to increase the value of the core offering? And as with a lot of free-to-play games, we're always balancing what do free players get versus what members get. And overwhelmingly, the feedback that we hear from kids, despite the fact that I think we offer a lot more free content than a lot of competing games, overwhelmingly kids want more free content, right? So they're not the best yardstick for measuring how well we're doing with that. But what we need to be focused on is increasing the value of that core offering so that the parent and child who is going to become a member, whether short or long term, is going to see that it just gets better from month to month to be a member. There's just more and more value being added to it. And we should be using it to drive new conversions, which is what we're doing with the retail cards. Now we have, instead of exclusive avatars being offered through our retail cards, now internationally the cards are rolling out in Australia, UK, and other places. These cards all have a special diamond currency associated with them, and you can use that diamond currency in the world to get all sorts of exclusive special stuff. And members who don't subscribe with the retail cards also get diamonds every week. It creates more excitement around the exclusive and rare items because people know where to go and get them, and it's not something that you can only buy in certain territories. In essence, I think, in a nutshell, is provide more long-term value to get more long-term value. So if over a period of time, and our players are playing for months and months, kids are seeing more stuff being added. One of the interesting observations we've had in the last little while is that a child who comes in and starts playing Animal Jam, there's a spike in those who convert immediately. They just saw Animal Jam, their friends told them about it, they're, wow, this is cool, Mom, I've got to have this. They subscribe within the first 3 or 4 play sessions. But on the long tail, on average, it takes a child about 45 days of playing the game before they subscribe, before they become a member. I think that's a good thing because it means that they're seeing over the course of 45 days, there's a lot more content coming out. There's a lot more cool stuff for free players and members. And now they're engaged socially in the world, and now they're bringing friends into the world. In some ways, I'd rather have them come in as members later. Once they're deeply hooked and engaged with the game, it means that we're doing something right. We're providing something that both parent and child find of value. The parent, because they're allowing the child to play as much as they do. So if I guess I can go away with one lesson that we derived from this, it was long-term value that we need to contribute in order to get long-term value, and that short-term ways to monetize existing members, our ethical disquiet with it was borne out by the financial results. I have a couple of minutes for any questions, if anybody has any. Yeah. I would have associated it with a 12-month membership. And maybe additionally included it with other special content. But now things like exclusive pets that are coming out can be purchased in the Diamond store, and I can get diamonds through any of the retail cards. I can earn them. I can be a member and get them for free. There's a lot more paths to it. Yes?
So you said you had concerns about what the reaction would be adding in this new thing that was priced in addition to the membership. Did you have any negative reactions from parents, or probably not the kids, but from parents either via social media or through support emails or?
Not so much. I'm sure that we did, but not enough. We have sentiment graphs that we look at daily, and I have a little feedback flow that I look at all the time on my iPhone of feedback that's coming in from parents and kids on Animal Jam. Not enough to really raise the needle there, but then it wasn't a blockbuster seller for us either. We didn't really expect it to be. I think watching the sentiment on that, and we would have terminated this experiment a lot sooner if there had been a backlash there. But I think we were kind of asking ourselves, are we providing $3 of extra value with this or not? And we were going to let people vote with their wallets, and long term they did.
Any additional questions? Just a reminder, since we've been telling you to email your friends, just remind everybody that these will be online, right? So, because there was an amazing amount, and thank you very much for being so open with information. I think that was really nice and refreshing. So I just want to let you guys know that these things will be online. So please let people know who weren't here that they can go online and see these as well. Okay?
Moving forward, do you see that the Animal Jam Outfitter store becomes a larger source of revenue for you guys than the 6% it is now?
Merchandising and licensing will be. I really don't want to be in the T-shirt business. We're a games company, so going forward, starting with this holiday season, we have more merchandising stuff. Some of which we can make available through Animal Jam Outfitters, but I would rather work with 2 or 3 licensees for Animal Jam that we're really excited to work with long term than go out and sign 100 licenses and have bubblegum and everything else out there. I'd rather do fewer things well than do lots of them. And with Animal Jam Outfitters, it was really based on demand from kids around the holiday season and from parents saying, my kids are really into Animal Jam and there's nothing that they can wear to school, or they want to give gifts to their friends who are into Animal Jam, and so we wanted to put something up there. I think it's kind of a stopgap until we feel like we've got the right licensing partners in place to take over merchandising stuff.
You said you have a partnership with Target already. Is that all in the gift card program?
That's in the gift card program, right? Yeah, different buyers, but we do have some plush that's now in FAO and testing in Walmart, so we'll see how that does.
So what do you think was behind the decision of parents? Like, do you think it was a value proposition that the $8.99 parents didn't stick around as long? Because the kids would have had basically the same experience as the $5.99 kids, right?
Yeah, they would have.
So was it just a parent decision?
If we look at how the degree to which those sales cannibalize the $5.95 ones, we know that for a lot of them, they weren't intending to be regular long-term subscribers anyway. For another one, it's a separate payment flow from what we normally do for Animal Jam. So it's easy for me in my parent portal in Animal Jam to go in and have my membership auto-renew, or I can turn that on and off very easily. I can't auto-renew a gift certificate in Animal Jam Outfitters. Now we do see with the retail gift cards, though, that the renewal rate from those is actually very good. Parents who become or kids who become members through the retail cards actually do renew at a very good rate, either through purchasing additional retail cards or they move over to a recurring subscription. It wasn't happening, however, with the Hummingbird gift certificate. And I think a lot of it was just because it was a very popular item socially in Animal Jam for a short period of time, and it is very faddish, like any playground, and things become really hot, or kids decide they're rare even if they're not. I don't know why, but and then everybody wants it. And I think a lot of these kids, they just wanted it for that kind of short-term social, wow, I'm gonna look really cool if I have this, rather than being as deeply engaged socially and gameplay-wise as players who'd been playing for longer.
Have you ever considered or offering tiered subscription models?
Tiered in the sense that different content unlocks at different pricing levels, or?
Yeah, exactly. So you could still have recurring. So you have your $5.99, $7.99, $10.99, and that's like a recurring renewal plan.
Probably not in North America. We're expanding into additional languages this year, and we're working with some syndication partners to release Animal Jam next year in some territories where the typical subscription model based on credit cards simply doesn't work. And something that I've observed with interest lately is that in China, for example, there is a subscription model business for kids' games. Subscriptions are very cheap, but it is a tiered model where there's microtransaction on top of a $1 a month subscription. So you've got a membership tier and then additional stuff that you can buy on top of that. That's something that I'm, in territories where this is not the best business model, we will be exploring that. But this is working pretty well for us in North America.
Okay,
All
in
right,
that case,
Maya?
thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
One other thing while we're getting set up for the next talk, which is happening right now, a couple of people had asked me earlier about the new Casual Connect report on kids and casual gaming, since this is the kids session.
Thank you.
If you're interested, I have a few hard copies here with me. They also have these at the registration table. So this was research that was done in the US, Mexico, Germany, and China recently about casual gaming across platforms. So if you're interested, there's hard copies here, or they have them at the registration desk as well.